Hey, what's up guys, it's Noah. Welcome back to the channel. I know it's been a really long time since I've uploaded, but I've been, adjusting to college, and I've been really busy with soccer and with school, and actually with putting this bad boy together. This is my PC right here, that I've been putting together for a while now, and it wasn't working for a while, and and I had a bunch of stuff to adjust to fix it, but I finally got it working, and hopefully there will be some high quality videos coming up on the channel soon. This video will be the first in a few videos that I'm doing, going over competitive Pokemon and how to play competitive Pokemon, how to play games, how to test teams, how to build teams, what the certain stats mean, etc. The first thing I recommend is go to this website. It's called PokemonShowdown.com. It's an excellent place to play Pokemon competitively, whether it be singles or doubles. I'll explain the difference in a second. But yeah, it's just an excellent place to play Pokemon. Excellent resource to start off with. So this is what happens when you come in. This is the homepage of Pokemon Showdown, and there's a bunch of different formats, and this is kind of crazy. It's a bit overwhelming at first if you don't know what you're doing, but if you want to play the formats that a lot of people play, the most common format, when I say format, I mean ways to play Pokemon, right? There's a bunch of different ways to play Pokemon. OU is the most common format for singles, and singles is where there's one Pokemon on your side of the field and one Pokemon for the opponent, and they're fighting against each other one-on-one. Doubles is where there's two of each, so I have two Pokemon, you have two Pokemon, and we fight. OU is the most common singles format, and OU is it's called the overused tier. So it's a lot of Pokemon that are good but not like broken, right? So Pokemon like Landorus is in the OU tier. Pokemon like, good Pokemon but not great Pokemon. So Landorus, Incineroar. Actually, let's look at what's in the tier. So you can go to Team Builder here, and this is where you can build teams. So we'll build a new team and then select a format, and we'll go OU. And then we can add a Pokemon, and we can look what's in the OU tier. So Bisharp's in here, Corviknight, Dragapult is in OU. I believe they just added Zamazenta. No, Zamazenta Crowned is still not in OU. They might test Zamazenta Crowned in OU soon, but there's a bunch of good Pokemon, but not crazy Pokemon in OU. Kartana's in OU. Nidoking is really good in singles because of sheer force. But yeah, there's a bunch of good Pokemon in OU that are just good Pokemon in general. It's fun to play OU. I like playing singles. When I play singles, I normally play OU. If you want to go to doubles, then I would recommend using this format, VGC 2021, and this drop-down option, this slider, selects, it always changes depending on what the current competitive format for Pokemon is. So the Pokemon Company International hosts tournaments, and those tournaments are played in doubles formats under these rules. And currently the rules are you're allowed to have one box art legendary, so Mewtwo, Kyogre, Groudon, Rayquaza, Ho-Oh, Lugia, Palkia, Dialga, Giratina, trying to think of others. Gen 5 was Reshiram, Zekrom, Kyurem, and you can use Kyurem Black and White, Xerneas, Yveltal, Zygarde. What else is there? What's after that? Necrozma, Solgaleo, Lunala, and then you can use both Necrozma forms as well, Duskmane or Dawnwings. And obviously this generation's legendary Pokemon of Zacian, Zamazenta, Calyrex Shadow, and Calyrex Ice. You're allowed to use one of those Pokemon, and then 5 other Pokemon, and they can be whatever they want as long as they're not mythical. So you can't use Mew, you can't use Jirachi, you can't use Celebi, stuff like that. But you're allowed to use any other Pokemon. So you can use like Thundurus, Tornadus, Mesprit, Entei, stuff like that. You're allowed to use any of those Pokemon that you want. So let's build a doubles team as an example. So we're going to add a Pokemon, and say your favorite legendary Pokemon is Groudon, like my brother's. So we can go ahead and type in Groudon into the search bar, and it comes up here. Now, as you can see, there's a bunch of different stuff here. Don't get too overwhelmed. So the first thing is the ability. And for a lot of legendary Pokemon, they're only going to have one ability. Groudon only has one ability, and it's Drought. So on switch in, this Pokemon summons Sunny Day. Now, Sunny Day does a lot of things, and you can go in. I'll let you go ahead and research Sunny Day by yourself. But Sunny Day it's a good thing to have on certain team compositions. But that's what Groudon does. It sets up the sun. It sets up a Sunny Day. When it switches in. Anytime it comes on the field, Groudon sets up Sunny Day. Now, there's a bunch of items in the game. And each Pokemon can hold one item. So you want to figure out what item is best for your Pokemon. Now, in doubles, you're only allowed to have one of each item and one of each Pokemon. So I think one of the best items in the format right now is the Life Orb. And Life Orbs do 1.3 times the amount of damage that you would normally do, but you lose a little bit of health after each attack. So I think that's a good trade-off most of the time, because Groudon's going to be doing a ton of damage with its moves, because it has a really, really high attack stat, which we'll get into in a second. It has a really high attack stat, and it's going to lose a teeny bit of health for doing a lot more damage, because that 1.3 goes a long way. But you're only allowed to have one Life Orb per team, so you have to kind of decide whether you want Groudon to hold the Life Orb or whether you want something else to hold the Life Orb. We'll put a Citrus Berry on Groudon, and it restores 1/4 max HP when I get to half or less. So Groudon, it kind of gives Groudon a bit more longevity, a bit more health in general, and it'll be really strong and very bulky that way. And as we already talked about, the ability is Drought, and that's the only one. But for instance, there are Pokemon with multiple abilities. Let's look at Dragonite. Dragonite has two abilities that are both very good. The first one is Inner Focus, and this Pokemon cannot be intimidated or flinched. So this is really, really valuable, because flinching is a big part of the game. There's a move that automatically flinches you, and if you flinch, you can't move that turn. So flinching is really big. Avoiding flinching is very, very valuable. And Intimidate is also a very, very important ability. Intimidate is another ability that lowers your attack on switch in. So similar to Groudon, when it switches in, it sets up Sunny Day. When a Pokemon with Intimidate switches in, they lower their attack. So this Pokemon, Dragonite with Inner Focus, is immune to Intimidate, so its attack never gets lowered. And as you can see, 134 attack, we said Groudon's was really good earlier, and it's 150, so 134 is not much lower. So 134 is pretty good. So Inner Focus is very valuable. However, Multiscale is also a very good ability. And Multiscale is, if this Pokemon is at full HP, damage taken from attacks is halved. So when Dragonite's at full health, it's crazy bulky. And it has pretty decent HP defense and special defense, as you can see. If 150 is good, then 90, 95, and 100 isn't bad. They're pretty solid. They're okay. And to have Multiscale, basically doubling those, you'd have 95 times 2 would be 190 and 200 special defense. Dragonite's going to be really, really hard to take out in one hit, right? So Multiscale is also a very good ability, so you have to make sure you choose one based on what you want your Pokemon to do. Alright, so let's talk about Groudon. So Groudon sets up Drought with Sunny Day. So let's think about some moves. So first of all, what Pokemon Showdown does is it gives you a list of moves, but it also gives you a list of usually useless moves. So really, you don't really ever want to be running these unless you're like trying to tech something on. So unless you want Groudon to do something very, very specific. Say for instance, I want my Groudon to have Giga Impact because it has 150 base power, and I want to be Max Striking, which Max Strike is it's a max move, which we'll get into later. But say I want Groudon to be Max Striking, that's a reason to run Giga Impact. Otherwise, I would stick to these moves that it recommends. I think now is a good time to go into another page that I really, really like. Another website, and it is called Pikalytics. So I'll leave both the links to these websites in the description below. Alright, perfect. So Pikalytics is really, really, really nice website that shows you the usage data for all of these Pokemon. So as you can see here, Incineroar is the most used Pokemon. And that's because Incineroar has, we talked about Intimidate being really, really valuable, and I don't know, it's kind of on the edge. Hold on 1 second. There you go. You can kind of see now. On the right side of the screen here that Incineroar has Intimidate as its ability, so that's what makes Incineroar very valuable. Let's go ahead and move this back. Okay, good. Yeah, so Incineroar is on 45% of teams, which is a lot of teams. That's more than a third of teams, almost half of teams. And this is on high-rated doubles teams, but Incineroar is this high. Let's look for Groudon, because I want to show some good things about Groudon. So as you can see, it shows the base stats here. I'm actually going to move this over a little bit. Let me move my base game out of the way. Come here. We'll move you here because we're talking about Groudon for right now, and we will drag this here. Good. Okay. So yeah. So this is just the right side of the page. But Groudon, it shows you its base stats, and it shows you what moves people are running on Groudon normally. This is really, really, really valuable because, especially if you don't know what to do with the Pokemon, it just kind of shows you what other people are doing. So Precipice Blades is the most run move, and we can look that up here on Pokemon Showdown. And Precipice Blades has, as you can see, when we type in Precipice Blades, it has 120 power and 85 accuracy and hits both foes. So it's a very, 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 very powerful move that hits both opponents. So we'll go ahead and run Precipice Blades on our Groudon because it's a strong move. Now let's go over to Pikalytics, and we can go look at the next move. The next move is Rock Slide, and Rock Slide's a very, very strong Rock-type move that Groudon gets. And as we talked about flinching earlier, stopping opponents moving for a turn, Rock Slide has it hits both opponents, and it has the chance to flinch both opponents. So it's a very strong move, and I think it makes a lot of sense to run a Rock Slide on our Groudon as well. So we'll go ahead and stick Rock Slide onto Groudon. Nope, not Stealth Rock. Rock Slide, good. And then the last two moves, I'll go ahead and throw them on, are Protect, which just protects your Pokemon for the turn. Nothing can happen to it. Protect, and I think Swords Dance is another really good move. So Swords Dance raises Groudon's attack by 2 stages, which we'll get to stat changes in a second. But each Pokemon gets 4 moves, very, very valuable. Now, there's 2 different types of stats in Pokemon. They are EVs, as you can see here, and IVs, as you can see here. So IVs are like what a Pokemon has at birth, essentially. So when Groudon is generated by the game, it gets a certain set of IVs. What you really want is all these IVs to be 31, unless you have specific conditions. For instance, if you want a Pokemon to be as slow as possible, so that it moves first under Trick Room, which is a condition that kind of like switches speeds around. So the slowest Pokemon moves first. Then you would want to have a 0 IV speed, or a 0 IV, yeah, 0 IV in speed on Groudon to make it 95 speed, as opposed to a 31 IV 110 speed. Very, very important IVs are, but most of the time you're going to want 31 in every stat, and we're going to be running a pretty fast Groudon, so we'll want 31 in every stat as well. Now EVs is what you can change, so this is what you can train, and there's no cap on IVs. You can put 31 in every stat, you can put 0 in some, it doesn't matter. You can put a maximum of 31 and a minimum of 0 in any stat, and there's no total cap. Now for EVs, there is a total cap, and that total cap is 500 and... let me think. I think it's 508. Yeah, it's 508 EVs for any Pokemon. So you have to distribute them depending on what you want your Pokemon to do. I want my Groudon to be very, very bulky, so we're going to give it the maximum of 252, which is the most you can have in a stat, and 252 attack. So we're just going to max out HP and attack, and we're going to put 4, our last 4, because these two only add up to 104. Or 504, sorry. So to get to 508, we need 4 more. So I'm going to go ahead and put the last 4 into special defense. For each 4, so for the first 4 EV points, as you can see, when I slide the slider here from 0, it goes to 170, and then up to 4, it goes to 171. And then after that initial 4, every 8 points, so at 12, 20, 28, 36, 44, this number goes up by 1. So yeah, so we're going to run 252, 252, and 4. And then the last thing that you'll need to know with stats is the nature, and nature's boost and lower stats. So when a stat is boosted by nature, it gets a multiplier of 1.1 times and a multiplier of 0.9 for the lowering stat. And there's a whole list of natures here, and Pokemon Showdown does a great job of showing you what each one does. So Adamant raises attack and lowers special attack, increases defense, lowers attack, etc., etc. Because we have a Groudon with 150 attack and only 100 special attack, we chose 2 physical moves, which is very important. Physical moves go off attack and defense, my attack stat and your Pokemon's defense stat if I'm attacking you. And special moves like Ancient Power here, for instance, you can see this little blue circle means it's special. Special moves go off special attack and special defense, which is why every Pokemon has attack, defense, special attack, and special defense. These little gray moves here are status moves, so they're either going to inflict a status condition, which we'll get into soon in the future, or they will raise stat changes, like this Swords Dance here. So yeah, so we want to give our Groudon a attack boosting nature, and because we're not using special attack, we want to lower our special attack. So let's go ahead and find that on here. I believe it is adamant, and it is right here. So we are going to go ahead and click our adamant Groudon, and give it an adamant nature. So now, as you can see, actually without a nature, we'll go ahead and remove this plus and minus here. Without a nature, Groudon has 202 attack, which is not bad, but that's respectable for sure. 150 with 202 attack is good, but with adamant nature, it really takes off. It goes to 222, which is a really high attack stat. 222 is really good, and with the citrus berry and max HP, which we're going to hear with 252. Yeah, Groudon's gonna be very bulky as well, so it's kind of a slow, bulky kind of tank sort of Pokemon. Does a lot of damage, should be able to take a decent amount, but yeah. The only stat you cannot increase or decrease with nature here is the HP stat. As you can see here, no nature increases or decreases HP, but everything else can be increased or decreased. The last thing I want to talk about is, let's talk about types. So I'm going to go ahead and post the Pokemon type chart right here above my head. It's very complicated. If you're just starting out to the game, what I would do is I would go ahead and just keep a picture of it up while I'm playing. Or if you get into a game, I believe you can do /weakness or /resistance of a Pokemon. So say I want to see Groudon strength or resistances and weaknesses, I can do /weakness Groudon, and this is on Pokemon Showdown in the game, and it'll show you what Groudon is weak to, what it resists, and what it is immune to. So Groudon, being a ground type, is immune to electric, so it can't be hit by electric type attacks at all, and it's weak to water, grass, ice. I think there's a couple more, but I just can't think of them at the moment. Is there any more? Actually, it might just be water, grass, and ice. But yeah, Groudon it's a bulky Pokemon, and it has some weaknesses. But you can cover them with your other team members. But yeah, I think that'll do it for this first installment of how to play competitive Pokemon. I hope you've learned and enjoyed what's going on. I've really enjoyed doing it, and yeah, in the next I guess installment of this, we'll talk about we'll continue with type coverages and type matchups, and we'll talk about what different abilities do, what abilities are good together, what kind of synergies you can have on your teams, and yeah, I think that's about it. That should cover just about everything. And then we'll play some games, and I'll kind of show you my thought processes in building and then in playing games. I hope you all enjoy, and I hope to see you in the next video. See you!